Hi. If you haven't met me yet through another video, I am Brandy. I am your professor for this semester. You're either in marriage and family or intro to Soc. Um, this is very similar to a project that's been done in previous semesters. I just changed it up a little bit. And I'm going to go through mine so that you have an example of how to do it. Also, I enjoy filters and the silly things that come with that. So unless it's like a super professional, like final project video, I'm okay with you using filters. For example, let's see. Especially since there is technology has some barriers here. So people that do know how to use technology or that are struggling, it's free to find some silly little things that you might want to include in your video. All right, so I am going to show you my identity map and my social location. It's a little complicated, but I'm going to do my best to walk you through that and also still have those professional boundaries around history and life, right? You only need to go into things as you are comfortable. We all have different levels of comfort, so do you. Okay. Okay. Let me move this little guy out of the way. All right. So this is me. This is me in front of one of the best things I've ever done. So this is my front stage, right? That's me. This is who I am. I'm a cisgendered woman. I am clearly white, a little bit pink. I'm a teacher. That's not always like, depending on what identity and what space I'm showing up in, depends on whether or not that's the front or like a little side. Because when I'm an activist doing social action, there are times when that needs to be my only front identity. Sometimes our identities are so complicated that we have to keep them 100% separate. I have a number of those that that have to be kept that way. And that would be, you know, kind of the activist and the teacher. I have to keep those separated because my passion as an activist has bias, right? So I have to, especially in sociology, be mindful of my bias in my front stage person, especially when I'm teaching, and then also remembering that these two things are incredibly impactful. The other thing I didn't put that's kind of in my social location is my status. And my status is like middle-aged, middle class, which is odd as well. Another thing a little like to the side, but I am full-hearted Gen X. And every stereotype that you have heard, that we are. We were left to fend for ourselves. We played outside and we're pretty cynical. Gen X, yeah. I will say that Gen X raised some really great socially minded generation of Gen Zers. I did not, because I am not a person who has had people. I am a leader. I also, a little more towards the backstage, is I'm a creator. I am incredibly creative. And that is actually a tool that I used. The reason why it's back here in my backstage is because I used my creativity to deal with everything back here. And that helped make my front stage a little bit prettier, right? Because most of the time, our front stage is much prettier than our backstage. That's where the mess is, right? So I am a creator of many, many things, of art, of organizations, of movements, of leaders. I do stuff. And I'm a sociologist. I try not to like run around and be like, oh, I am a sociologist, because it's only one of my identities. And it's actually something that's so woven in everything I am that I don't call myself a sociologist. That's a part of my makeup. So now the backstage. So a lot of things, my front stages, I'm pretty intense. That should go there. My backstage is that I have a lot of life experience and a very colorful, very robust history in life. I have gone through so many things, both beautiful and traumatic, that have helped create who I am. But a lot of those things don't need to be in the forefront. A lot of it is that I've, managed to navigate them, some healthy, some not. But these two are definitely, and this vast life experience, that is the teacher version, right? Because I don't think you need the grocery list of my life experience. I don't even think I know the grocery list of my life experience. Okay, so vast life experience, which plays into all of these things. Both of these being adopted, which is a really weird story because I was adopted then unadopted, but kind of not. I have had 4 stepdads and 9 stepmoms. It was a lot. So both of these things that have been in my life my whole life, along with these. So these two really helped reinforce my internal stuff. And the internal stuff is who we don't want to show, right? So I'm not going to go through my fears, and I'm not going to go through my traumas, and I'm just going to say they're there, right? I don't think y'all need to know my baggage. We're here for you. But all of these things helped develop this front stage of who I am. It helped develop, my life experience helped me understand why activism is important. It helped me understand why leadership and building new leaders. And it also showed me how these two are impactful, not only in my life, but in other people's lives and the system overall. Here's where it gets challenging and rough. So my family is very matrilineal. However, it sort of just falls off on all the sides. Yeah, my father person, my biological father person, that was actually a paternalistic line family. But there was an adoption situation, and so that dropped off. And my mom's whole family, all the women have been in charge, and the men are like byproducts. And now there aren't, I don't even know. And that's about it. So I have a sister. I have many biological half brothers and sisters, because my parents really like to love. So that is who I am here. You are more than welcome to go in deeper. I have some fears and trauma around being fully open and vulnerable, and that all comes from back here, right? So all of these like deeper alleys really actually produced a force of a person. Because of these, many of the things that created all of these front stage things will never happen again. My front stage person has phenomenal barriers now to make sure that backstage and internal me don't have to carry the same things for another 40-ish plus years. All right. That was a lot, but now we're going to move on to social location. And I want you to know that you can do this however you want. Yes, I made a PowerPoint. I don't care if you use Legos and build me a Lego thing. I really wanted to, but I ran out of time because I'm also messing with the syllabus. You can use Barbies. You can use Power Rangers. I don't care. Actually, the more creative, the more exciting. Use paper dolls. I really don't care. And in fact, creativity like breaks up the monotony for everyone. So you have creative license to do this how you think it would be best. Okay, now we're into my social location, which might help explain a little bit about that backstage. Okay, my social location now, I live in a suburb. I'm buying a 3-bedroom house. I have 2 dogs. And I'm a middle-class, well-educated white woman. Now, that's actually deeply out of the norm for my my line of people, other than the person who gave me up for adoption. That it doesn't really count because they weren't there. So this is where I started. I started and lived in rural trailer parks till I was 18. Left. This is me, not really. This really isn't me running amok. But this, I ran amok, right? And so even though I started here, and you think that's like, as far as status and social location, it's not very high up on the ladder, right? But it's what I always knew. I think it's fabulous. I still love trailers. They're just not that safe on in the Midwest, right? On the West Coast, they were great. Because they'll go well with the earthquakes. So then for a solid 10, 12, 13, 14 years, I ran amok. And all that did was continue to lessen my social location, which meant that my access to resources became less and less, meaning that I had less and less opportunity to get out of that muck. And the reason that is because some of the things in my backstage helped develop mental health issues, right? And when you're out running amok, it is near impossible to maintain your mental health program, right? So you can't get meds, you can't go see the doctor. You are now disconnected from everyone and everything. So that for a number of years, I was homeless, lots and lots and lots, and all the things that go along with that, right? Many things. Then some things happened. Nothing like violent, nothing, just, dumb things. Well over 15 years ago. Just the normal, dumb, poor white girl things. Okay, so some things happened, and then I was like, huh, what am I gonna do? I can either be homeless again, or I can get some financial aid and go to school. I never thought I could, but now I did that. And I had no mentor. There was no one to walk me through it, right? So for all of you who are first in family, you know how challenging this is. you know that these aren't words and things and processes that we've ever been taught. We're not told, oh, if that doesn't work, go to the registrar's office. What is a registrar's office? What's this, right? So even the words were weird and intimidating. But I did it, and I did it on my own. I went and because I am really a fictive kin family person. I went to Humboldt State University after community college, got my master's degree, stayed in Humboldt for 15 years, and started a nonprofit. That then propelled me into a whole other social location. That nonprofit then got the attention of New York Times, and in 2018, I was named one of New York Times most influential people, or most memorable people that they met. And I also received a distinguished alumni award from my university, and the Red Cross gave me an award, and I just kept getting these weird things, right? Like that, all of that is weird to put on. If it's something that you've never had, that location feels real weird, and it takes skills to navigate it that you may or may not have. I did not have those skills. I did not. Being a national leader within a national movement and highly visible with mental health issues doesn't elicit stability within your social location, especially when, you know, my location was so visible. I was getting death threats, some by law enforcement. And so it just became so problematic, and I had no skills, no understanding, and no support of how to live so visibly in that location. And so I tapped out. We transitioned. My organization is still running and thriving. I moved to the Midwest because California is a hot mess. And I am now an upper middle class white woman with a house and 2 dogs, and all the things that I thought never were for me, all the things that I thought like were someone else's life. And so like, how did I get from here to here? That for me, it's still kind of wild. So that is my social location now, but I felt that it was important to let you know how I got there, because a lot of times in academia, people will say, oh, my social location is I'm a middle-class white woman. Right. But what is my backstage middle-class white woman? I've only been middle class for 2 years. And so, like all people, I am a very nuanced, layered, and complicated person. I hope this made sense. And I hope that, I'm sure it was too long because I talk. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, feel free to be as creative as you like. Creativity breaks up the monotony. And don't forget to go engage with your classmates' posts for the rest of your credit. Okay. All right. And thank you all for being here.